So that's all the best armors in the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe. That's all of the best items across the board that you can have. This is just the beginning of my playthrough, so I wanted to share all of that stuff, and I feel like I awkwardly, funnily went through it, so I hope you guys have enjoyed and maybe just saw those things. If you're someone that's a new player, those are the single most best items that you get all the way throughout the game, for all the different story missions and things like that, just all in one place in my inventory. And this is before I really do anything with the crafting and the mod slots and everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and it's been your boy, Kittens. Peace. Alright, what is up, guys? It is your boy Kittens, or Nelson Hall now, coming back to you guys with another video. This one is for one of my favorite games of all time. I actually just restarted again. This is my 4th playthrough. This is another New Game Plus. This one is on the very hard difficulty, the difficulty right below the ultra hard, because I already did the ultra hard, and this gameplay I really wanted to do for myself, just, you know, being able to kind of see the the health bars, honestly. that was the main reason of, like, you know, I wanted to do another hard mode again after doing a much easier mode with the melee only playthrough that I was doing. And, you know, so I really just wanted to, I don't know, have the health bars but still do a hard game mode. And really the point of this video is me to just show you guys what I have at the very beginning of my game. This is just, I was kind of trying to do a video. I actually realized that I had muted myself, which is kind of hilarious because totally my style, right? I forget, you know, my life, man. Forget everything. So life, this is the mods that I have right now. I'm just restarting, so, you know, all my stuff is empty. But it still has kind of some of the old stuff that I had on as I was, you know, going through and sorting everything. So what I have is 3 full copies of all of the Frozen Wilds mods. The only Frozen Wilds mods that I don't have 3 copies of are the Veteran's Weapon Coil, and I don't have 3 copies of the Survivor's Outfit Weave. The reason why is because the challenge, the Ikri's challenge, the hunting grounds all the way over here in the Frozen Wilds is actually really difficult on the hardest game mode. And a couple playthroughs ago when I was doing it, I literally just stopped there and I was like, you know, I'm just gonna get the other collectibles because the mission was just so difficult at the time that I just didn't even bother. So I was able to get 2 copies of those, but I have 3 copies of every other Frozen Wilds mod, and this is where I'm at now with just kind of my stuff. So I have 3 of all of everything except for those, whatever. And then I have a 29% spear damage, a 28% spear damage, a handful of 45% damages across the board, and then a handful of, like, the, I feel like that I should point out is, like, the try mode kind of ones. The try mode, you know, mods are some of the best mods in the game, even though, you know, some of the try mods will actually be blue. So I actually have a couple examples of those as well. I have a 41% with 15 damage and 11 fire, and then it's actually right on par with what this one does. So you see, for example, it'll give it, like, you know, let's say 71% bonus. This will actually give it, see what, 56, 72. So it's basically the same. I mean, it's 71%, 72% bonus, but it's more across the board. So there's some interesting things you can do with those try modes. And then the same thing over here, you know, 10% stealth, 11 resist freeze, and, you know, all that good stuff. And it's very similar to what this is. It's only a little bit, it's just a little bit less stealth, but it still gives you that try, you know, additions across the board. And then I have a couple try stealths, try resistance corruption, a couple of the try resistances for, you know, freeze and stuff, and then our freeze, shock, fire, and then these ones are just solid ones because I really enjoyed the resistance to melee and the resistance to range, especially the ones that are dual, like ranged and melee. You know, I have a triple, nice, pretty awesome. And then a couple of these with the melee and fire. On 18%, that's blank, but I think the 18% is actually the highest value that you can get without using the, you know, the Frozen Wilds mod. So I think that's why that one's just hanging out there. Alright, so, you know, a bunch of really sweet stuff, and then I have a handful of pretty sweet, the handling coils, the try 16, you know, 66, 11. The ones with the corruption are kind of meh. I really would love a different value on the bottom of there, but hey, you know, the tear and the damage is pretty solid. And then the damage shock, I think this one is one of my more favorite ones because I can definitely go on, like, the war bow, things like that. Yeah, so there's a bunch of cool stuff. Some of the freeze damage are pretty okay. And I'm looking for better ones of those. Oh yeah, and for some reason I've just opened up, like, a whole number of really good fire coils throughout my game. So I just have a bunch of the good try coils for fire, which is really cool. I mean, you know, actually really sweet ones too, like fire handling shock, and then, like, fire shock across the board, and then the fire handling. Fire handling is really nice. But it's like when it's like fire handling freeze, they go best on the. I used to put them on one of the blast slings, the elemental blast sling, and that would work really well. But I actually have better setup for the elemental blast sling, so it's just good coils just to mess around with. So other than that, the coils, those are really cool. The best weapons that you can get in the game, I have all of the best weapons in the game across the board for everything. So I guess we should just go over each of them, I guess. So there's like the Adept Lodge weapons. So you get the Adept Lodge Warbow, which is 4 mod slots, and you can also get the the Adept Lodge Blast Sling, which is 4 mod slots in gold. I have the 3-slot one as well. You can also get the Adept Lodge Ropecaster for 4 mod slots. All you have to do for that is finish the Hunter's 3, but through all of the different hunting grounds. So you have to do 15 different challenges, and then you can get them. Pretty awesome. I think you can actually skip the frozen. You might be able to skip the frozen wild side, but life. And then the other side of it, you can also have the 3-drop ones. I have some of the 3s, which is fine. And then some of the other adept weapons that you can get without doing the frozen wilds that you get from like the normal section of the map is the Adept Ropecaster, the Adept Rattler, the Adept Tripcaster, and the Adept Sling, and the Adept Blast Sling. So both Sling and Blast Sling you get on the normal section of the map. And then the other side of it that you get, so the kind of generally the best weapons in the game, the strongest weapons in the game are the ice, like well, it's not the ice side. I would say the ice side because it's an easier way to think of it, but the Banuk side of the map. So the Banuk side of the map, you have the Adept Striker Bow with 4 mod slots, the Adept Champion Bow with 4 mod slots. I have multiple copies of it, and the Adept Power Shot Bow with 4 mod slots. Again, multiple copies. Generally speaking, the like specialty weapons are also really strong. So the specialty weapons that you can only get from the Frozen Wild side, the Adept Ice Trail, the Adept Forge Fire, and the Adept Stormslinger, all of them will be a max of 3 mod slots, which is really sweet. Actually, side note, I really love the Banuk Stormslinger just by itself. I put like a painted weapon coil on it and really just love using it. It lets you roll around and use alloys like slow down time, focus abilities. A lot of fun. Just want to throw that out there. So otherwise, that's generally the best weapons in the game across the board. For me personally, I like to have multiple copies of certain things. So I have 2 copies of the Champion Bow with 4 mod slots. One I'll put a bunch of electric stuff, the other one I'll put a bunch of ice stuff on. The Power Shot Bow, I actually have 3 copies of right now just because I had just picked up the other one before I restarted my game. So one side I would do, main like super power max damage shot, the other one would do max tear. And then for the Adept Ice Trail, it's the strongest single shot weapon in the game. So if you find any creature that's not resistant to ice even, or has a weakness to ice, this thing will just demolish stuff. Very similar idea for the Forged Fire. One side you max out fire, one side you try to max out damage. I do want to get another one here, so I have 2 with the 3 mod slots, but life. And then very similar idea here, where one side you try to max out handling, one side you try to max out the electric. Have fun. And then, just keep going with other things. Generally speaking, you try to max out different values depending on what you're doing. With the Adept Sling, I really enjoy using the ice side of the Adept Sling because the ice side of the Adept Sling is actually really powerful. Another way you can use the Adept Sling is you put a whole number of the painted coils, like you put Drummer's coils and some of the painted coils on, and you can actually max out almost all of the values, like individual values, without messing with the handling. But so I just want to generally touch on that. Those are the strongest weapons in the game. And then strongest outfits. Oh my gosh, there's so much to go over. Strongest outfits. Well, okay, so the strongest, I only have the strongest. So the strongest side from the normal side is the Survivor Adept with 3, Sickness Eater at 3, Arrow Breaker at 3, Spark Worker at 3, Nora Protector at 3, Karja Adept at 4, which you can get on the normal side of the map. And then the really good side of the Banuk side of the maps, the Blazing Master at 4, the Silent Hunter at 4, the Werek Chieftain at 3, which is freaking badass, by the way. This is like definitely one of my favorites. I'm definitely going to keep all 3. So I have 2 of those at 3 for the health recovery and 2. And then there's also the Ice Hunter Adept at 4. And then these are just extra copies, the Ice Hunter and the Blazing Master. They only have the 3 mod slots. And then obviously I have my Shield Weaver and my Nora Brave. Oh yeah, all the good stuff. So that's all the best armors in the game. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe. That's all of the best items across the board that you can have. This is just the beginning of my playthrough, so I wanted to share all of that stuff, and I feel like I awkwardly, funnily went through it, so I hope you guys have enjoyed and maybe just saw those things. If you're someone that's a new player, those are the single most best items that you get all the way throughout the game, for all the different story missions and things like that, just all in one place in my inventory. And this is before I really do anything with the crafting and the mod slots and everything like that. So hope you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, all that stuff, and it's been your boy, Kittens. Peace.